Barack Obama has reversed his decision to release photographs of prisoner abuse by US personnel in Iraq and Afghanistan. Around 2,000 images were to be made public at the end of this month, as ordered by a federal court, but having seen them, the president now says their release could cost the lives of American soldiers overseas. Well, our correspondent Dina Gusovsky has more on this story, more about this U-turn. Catch up with her now from Washington. Hi there, Dina. Well, now, earlier the US president said that he did not seem to be against the release, so why this sudden U-turn?
Well, there's really a lot of back and forth on this, or as people in the political scene here like to call it, flip-flopping, because this decision comes just 3 weeks after the Obama administration said that they would release those photographs. Now, apparently it was top military commanders in Iraq and Afghanistan that advised Barack Obama against this. They said, look, you release those photographs, it's going to harm U.S. troops, it's going to make them more prone to attack, it's going to breed anti-American sentiment, particularly among the Muslim world, particularly in Iraq and Afghanistan, where the Americans are struggling right now. We remember the media storm that occurred when those Abu Ghraib photographs were released. So Barack Obama's thinking about that, really basing his decisions on the advice from those military commanders and taking U.S. troops into consideration.
But what do Americans think of this? These pictures are being covered up. They're not getting to see them. What's the view?
Well, this was the source of heated debate last night on most of the American news shows here. The media is abuzz. This story is really making headlines. Now, liberals, who are really Obama's base, are not too thrilled with this decision. They want to see those people who committed acts of torture really held accountable, really held responsible for the crimes that they committed. And they think that not releasing these photographs is really slowing down that process. So they are not too pleased with Barack Obama right now. Now, after having made that decision, he did have a chance to address the public. Let's listen to a little bit of what he said.
These photos that were requested in this case are not particularly sensational, especially when compared to the painful images that we remember from Abu Ghraib.
That's interesting that he said that, because there were actually rumors that these photographs were worse than some of the images that we saw at Abu Ghraib. So it's really no surprise that Americans are back and forth about how they feel about this issue. Did Barack Obama make the right call? And there's an interesting argument that says, look, he already released the CIA memos that detailed the abuse of detainees. So what's the difference with releasing the photographs? For Barack Obama, he drew the line there. He said no to the photographs, but he did release those memos. So people are very passionate about this topic. There are a lot of opinions to go around based on Barack Obama's decision not to release those.
So, Dina, what is the word on the street, though? We'd like to see another U-turn again from the president. Not forgetting, of course, Wednesday the US Senate held a hearing on so-called enhanced interrogation methods. As you intimated there, a heated debate it was too. Is this decision from the president the final decision now, do you think?
Well, that's the question everyone's really asking themselves. But what we do know is this debate is not likely to go away anytime soon. Acts of torture, do they work? Do these enhanced interrogation techniques really give the United States the information that they need? This is something that U.S. policymakers, U.S. lawmakers are going to argue about for a long time to come. You mentioned that Senate hearing, Kevin. Philip Zelikow, he was a former legal counsel to Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. He's had some interesting words, some interesting opinions about this issue. Let's listen in.
For several years, our government has been fighting terrorism without using these extreme methods. I can comment on that both worldwide and in Iraq.
So at the hearing, you had several people testify, look, these enhanced interrogation techniques don't work, torture doesn't work. The United States is perfectly capable of fighting terrorism without having to resort to acts of torture.
Do you know, Dina, I don't think we've heard the last of this one yet. You and the team crossed this story as ever. Thank you. Dina Gusovsky reporting there from Washington about Barack Obama's decision to block the release of those photographs depicting prisoner abuse in Iraq and Afghanistan.